If you've ever seen a comic book or owned a comic book, chances are you've seen a variant cover for the issue you have. Variant covers are quite common things these days, with every comic book that gets released usually offered with 1 or 2 variants of the marketed cover, or if you're a Batman comic, you get upwards of 15. Variants serve to give collectors something different to collect from the usual standard cover art, with variants often done by leading industry art professionals, or even at some points used to promote other comic books or other comic book properties, such as comic book movies or TV series, like the recent Suicide Squad movie covers seen on many of DC's books these last couple of weeks. Variant covers became insanely popular in the 1990s thanks to the speculator boom, which saw collectors becoming more concerned with the preservation and storage of comic books with the goal of them being worth something in the future. But what was the first ever variant cover to be included with a comic book? Well, the answer is a little surprising. At least for me it was, since it actually relates pretty well to my channel. The first ever marketed variant cover was for John Byrne's relaunch of Superman with the Man of Steel in 1986. One featured a full shot of Superman ripping open the shirt comprising part of his civilian clothing to reveal the Kryptonian S symbol on his chest, along with a shot of the spaceship that brought him to Earth escaping the exploding Krypton. The other cover featured a classic close-up of Superman's chest as he rips open his shirt, an image I'm sure that even people with a passing knowledge of comic books has seen. Thanks to the 90s boom in the speculator market, comic publishers began focusing directly on these collectors who started the boom, knowing collectors love completing sets, collecting comics with a specific character or a writer or an artist and so on. So publishers began making comics with multiple covers, resulting in billions being sold and a lot of money being made. One of the world's best-selling comics, 1991's X-Men issue 1, generated a massive $7 million in sales, partly thanks to the publisher Marvel shipping it with 5 different covers, each designated 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and 1E. The covers showed all of the various X-Men on the team, and when laid down side by side with each other, they revealed a larger image drawn by superstar artist Jim Lee. Another comic featuring variants is the infamous Superman issue 75, which contained the final chapter of the then massive Death of Superman storyline. DC sold the book in a black poly bag adorned with a bloody red S symbol and a black armband inside, as well as various other things like trading cards and posters. For collectors who wanted to keep the bag intact but read the landmark issue, they had to buy multiple copies, so DC offered the black polybag version as well as an unbagged version without the fan incentives like the posters and armbands. You might find it surprising, but variants also get variants. These are often referred to as chase covers, thanks to many collectors scrambling to find them. These variants of variants are known for various attributes, but the most common being production errors or just plain old shortages. In a very sly move, publishers manufactured these chase covers and the demand for them by issuing certain ratios to stores, meaning there would always be a shortage of them and thus continuing the scramble or chase for them. Comic conventions were also a goldmine for variants, with convention exclusive variants soon becoming the norm at every convention around the world. After the boom ended, publishers were left in quite a shell-shock state, shying away from variants and at one point stopping them altogether since they didn't sell. For DC Comics, however, that changed in 2004 with their event series Identity Crisis, which at the time proved so popular it went through multiple printings, each with a different cover, which allowed fans who already bought the book to buy it yet again. Other publishers saw the success of this and tried to copy, leading to Marvel issuing a deal with retailers that if they ordered New Avengers issues 1 to 6, they would get retailer incentive covers by certain Marvel artists. On top of this, publishers again began producing simple variants, usually in the same count as the normal cover, and since Identity Crisis, second printings usually have a different cover, although rather simple changes, like art being all one color or a slight alteration in the actual artwork. Marvel, after the boom died down, used variants on various occasions, like when the Marvel Zombie universe first appeared in Ultimate Fantastic Four issue 21. The popularity of this universe spawned several variant covers from artist Arthur Sudam, variants which to this day still happen from time to time, with many series getting the zombified quote-unquote treatment at one point or another. Another such variant was one celebrating the inauguration of Barack Obama, with the Amazing Spider-Man issue 583, presenting an all-new story with Spider-Man teaming up with the new president, and the comic itself featuring 5 different variants. Recently, DC Comics' flagship titles Action Comics and Detective Comics both had their 1000th issue, and and with it came a bevy of different variant covers, with one cover for every decade since the book's inception, black and white versions, blank versions, special retailer versions, and everything in between. Comics aren't the only genre to get variant covers, with magazines and books, video games, anime, manga, even getting some, with some notably being TV Guide, which at many points throughout its publication has done variant covers featuring popular TV shows like Friends, and bringing it back around to comic books, even Smallville. Comic book variants continue to sell extremely well whenever they are announced or revealed, and with that comes the speculator market, which can be a problem for everyday casual fans, as oftentimes variants, especially ones dedicated to either a new character reveal like the recent Batman Punchline variants, or landmark series like the recent Three Jokers series, sell out almost immediately and end up back on marketplaces like eBay for exorbitant prices, which people will still pay, feeding the never-ending cycle that is the speculator market. Like in the 90s, will the bubble burst? Well, it's kind of hard to say, but right now, variants and the speculator market are here to stay.